You are assigned to labor in the Pennsylvania Pittsburgh mission. Those are the words that I read as I was preparing to serve as a full-time volunteer for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The question was for me is what's Pittsburgh even like? Because I'll be honest, I had no idea. The only thing I knew about it was that they had a football team, which is not a whole lot to a city. And so I decided to do some digging, and today I'd like to share with you the significance of Pittsburgh and how it's helped shape this country by talking about how it was established, how its geography has played a significant role in its development, as well as how the iconic steel industry helped transform this city not only from a industrial city, but into a city of technology and education and healthcare. And so we're going to start from the beginning with how it was formed or how it was established. So in the mid 1700s, there was a fort called Fort Duquesne, and it was under the control of the French armies during the French and Indian War. Now, over the course of several years, the British armies tried to capture this fort, but had no success. That was until 1758, when they had a new offensive try to take this fort under the direction of General John Forbes. Now, in 1758, when this happened, the French actually burned the fort down and just abandoned it because they knew they had lost. And this was great for the British armies. And so over the course of the next years, they kind of helped reestablish this fort, kind of build it up again. And in 1961, General John Forbes renamed it Fort Pitt, which is actually after the name of the British Prime Minister, William Pitt. And so over the course of those following years, more people came in, they settled, they had their families, and Pittsburgh, or at least Fort Pitt, became the city of Pittsburgh, or the settlement of Pittsburgh in 1784. Now with Pittsburgh established and everything's going great, let's take a look at the geography and see how that impacted its development years later. So interestingly enough, Pittsburgh is actually located at the connection or the convergence of three major rivers: the Allegheny, the Monongahela, and the Ohio rivers. And so with these rivers all being connected right by Pittsburgh, this allowed for major trade between different cities, but also it allowed for direct trade from the East Coast to the Midwest. And they traded all sorts of things like iron and coal and steel, all these different things to help develop this city. Now, with these rivers, there needed to be a way to cross them as well for travel, which is why this city has the nickname the City of Bridges, because it actually happens to have over 400 bridges, which is just incredible. But not only does it have these bridges, it has inclines and tunnels as well, because surrounding the city are lots of hills and valleys. And some of the more infamous tunnels, or I guess inclines, is the Duquesne Tunnel, or Duquesne Incline, and the Monongahela Incline, as well as the Fort Pitt Tunnel, which is named after Fort Pitt, the original fort that was established by the British armies. So now that we have this geography, let's take a look into the steel industry and how that helped move this city even to greater success. So in the early 1800s, Pittsburgh had already been established as a city of iron. They're a leading producer of iron, and that actually helped them a lot because one of the main ingredients of steel is iron. And so this helped Pittsburgh move into a greater phase of their development with the help of one man. His name was Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie came in and boosted the production and rate at which this steel was produced in the city of Pittsburgh, which ultimately helped the Industrial Revolution move forward with the railroad system, because a lot of the steel that was produced in Pittsburgh was used for these rails. And years later, down the road, with everything that happened with the steel and with the railroad systems, Pittsburgh had become one of the major cities that helped pretty much build the backbone of this country. And so, like I had mentioned, it was a steel city, and it was a city of bridges, but it's also a smart city now with major innovations in education and healthcare. And so everything that Pittsburgh has accomplished throughout its history has helped shape America. So without Pittsburgh, this country would not be what it is today.